But even with Florida somewhat in the bag now, at least by some indications, Donald Trump must break through what they call the Clinton blue wall. So exactly how does he do that? Joining me now, Cathy Taylor, Rachel Campos-Duffy, and Mark Alderman, along with Jeff DeWit, who knows Donald Trump's plans very well. But I want to start with our newest contributor, Rachel Duffy. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Hey, you happen to be in Wisconsin. A lot of Republicans had sort of hinted over the weekend and yesterday that Marquette poll was going to be a surprise for Donald Trump. It was not a surprise for Donald Trump. What do you make of it?
Well, look, I usually don't like to go against the Marquette poll because it's generally a very good poll, very accurate. But listen, I think it's much closer than that 6-point spread. I mean, first of all, part of the time that they were in the field sampling was before the big bombshell on Friday with the FBI. The other point I'd make is that they oversampled Democrats by 6%. Wisconsin is not a +6 Democrat state. It's a purple state. So I think both of those make me think the race is closer. The other reason I think the race is closer is that Hillary thinks it's closer. She's sending in Biden this week. She's sending in Kaine this week. Her daughter, Chelsea, is going to be here. All of those indicate that the race is closer. If you don't mind, the state is in 3 parts. Up here in north, central, and western Wisconsin, where I'm at, Donald Trump is overperforming by 6 points. I mean, that's huge. Down in Madison, which is the stronghold for the Democrats, that's, Bernie country. Those are socialists. Those are not Hillary people. And I'll tell you what, they are very angry right now about the cheating that was done by Hillary against their guy Bernie with Donna Brazile. So I think that's going to depress the vote there.
But Rachel, listen, Donald Trump has had his run-ins with certain Republicans in your state. There was an article in the Washington Post saying he's not our kind of Republican. Is that going to hurt him ultimately? Or do you still see him being able to break through Wisconsin come next Tuesday?
So that is the key point. You really hit it on the head right there. So southeast Wisconsin, the suburbs of Wisconsin, that's the most Republican part of the state, but it is also the home of the #NeverTrump movement. I think those people are moving after the Friday bombshell. They are becoming #NeverHillary people. And so if I was Donald Trump right now, I would drop those ads. I know his campaign is notoriously frugal. This is not the time to be frugal. Drop the ads. And by the way, come one more time to Wisconsin, Donald, and hit it right there in southeast Wisconsin.
I think if Donald Trump cloned himself a dozen times, he couldn't get to everywhere everybody wanted to go. But, Jeff, you're the man who may know more about this. A bunch of polls are out today, right? I mean, just an avalanche of them and mixed results for both candidates. I mean, people are cherry-picking the ones that they like. But let's face it, good news in one, and then you looked at 5 minutes later, there's another one. Donald Trump breaking through Clinton's blue wall. What states should he focus on?
Well, we're doing very well in the blue-collar, traditional blue-collar working states. As you see there, Wisconsin. Michigan is in play. Michigan hasn't gone Republican since 1988. It's in play right now for us. And, in fact, there are some polls that show us leading by a couple points in Michigan. Ohio, obviously, we're doing well. These are the states that have seen the most negative impact from these trade deals. Does he spend his time in? For instance, okay, early voting. Michigan right now, in early voting, is sort of a little bit to your advantage, right? Yeah. Over 2012. But it's tough to decide which states that you really hit hard. Of course, Donald Trump in Florida, he made 3 stops here today. It feels to me that he may win that, but there's some noise in that early voting stuff. Is it New Hampshire? Is it Wisconsin? I think Ohio's in the bag. Would he go back there? So how exactly do you see the marching orders between now and November? You're going to see us hit
November 4th, 8th, rather.
Without spoiling the surprise, you're going to see us hit all of these states because, thankfully, we have the hardest working candidate that politics has ever seen in Donald Trump. And we're doing 3, 4, and we might even do 5 rallies in a day coming up here. These are things that the Hillary campaign just can't do. These are the logistical nightmares, to be honest with you, to solve, to do this many things. But we have a candidate that never stops working hard.
Yeah.
That's
the attitude. There's no doubt about that. His stamina has been absolutely remarkable, and I think that's where Hillary relies on her team of surrogates to sort of match that. Cathy, you know this better than anyone else, how this whole thing works. It's a nail-biter. It always feels like it's a nail-biter, though, almost every single year, without exception. Anything special or different about this? other than perhaps the rate of momentum that we see Donald Trump with right now is really astonishing.
It is astonishing, and it's going to be up till the end, and I don't think anybody can say with certainty what's going to happen. We were talking before the show started. You look back at the last election, Romney was up several polls by many points. You just don't know until you know. What's different about this election, what I think is going to be a very big story post-November 8th, is the fact that the undecided are underreported. There's just no doubt about it that these two candidates are so polarizing that they have their camps, but there is still a very large group of people throughout this country who aren't going to decide until they walk into that booth. And I think that's still a very, for all the reporting around
it, do you think that can make the difference?
I think that's still a very underreported number. From my travels across the country, that is still a very underreported number for sure.
Mark Alderman, we just moments ago, a tracking poll in Michigan had Hillary up 3, but she was up 7 in the same poll yesterday. So it sort of echoes what we're seeing with the broader, bigger polls nationwide and state by state. Hillary's going to go to Michigan. She's in a lot of different states. She's certainly scrambling, and now she's spending money. How is she going to, in your mind, defend this blue wall?
She's going to defend the blue wall because the wall is real, Charles. It's not like Trump's border wall with Mexico. It is a wall that has stood in every presidential election 6 straight times, all the way back to 1988. And the problem for Donald Trump is that he's not ahead anywhere that he has to win. He has to win Florida, which is a toss-up. He has to win North Carolina, which is a toss-up. He has to win Iowa, Nevada,
Mark,
Ohio.
what would you say, though, about the notion of, first of all walls eventually either can be penetrated or overcome. Even Constantinople stood for a long time, and finally they gave in.
Now it's Istanbul.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But again, the momentum that he has, though, how do you deny that momentum, Mark? And then I'll let you back in, Rachel.
There's a difference between it becoming tighter and it becoming tight. Yes, it is becoming tighter in Wisconsin. It's still hers to lose. It is becoming tighter in Michigan. It's still hers to lose. I'm from Pennsylvania. Donald Trump is not winning Pennsylvania. It shouldn't even bother coming there. And I don't think that he is going to be able to run the table. He has to win everywhere, and that is just too tall an order with too short a time left.